So there is something I need to talk about, and I'm wondering if I should go to the police with this information, or if I should just stay quiet for my own safety. I need to start off by saying I'm a 22-year-old girl. Let's just say my name is Alex. It's in reality something else, but out of fear for my own life, I will have to call myself by a different identity. Not only will my name be different, but everyone in the story will be changed. I have a best friend named Stephanie. Her and I have been friends since sophomore year of high school, so roughly about 7 years. I met her in drama class, and I have always admired her passion for theater. I only took that class because I heard it was easy. It wasn't until probably 6 months after meeting in high school that she invited me over to her house to hang out. We get up to her place and get out of the car to a super nice mansion-styled house. I'm pretty taken aback, to be honest, because she wasn't dressed from head to toe in designer-named merchandise, like you'd think someone with this kind of money would be. I get out and ask what her dad does for a living. You guessed it, a doctor. Looking back, maybe I should have paid better attention in class, but that's besides the point. We go into her house, and right there in the doorway is her mom. She seems surprised to see me. I guess Stephanie wasn't too good on the communication aspect with her mom. Either way, her mom introduced herself and offered us a snack, and being 16, the perfect choice was of course a pepperoni pizza pocket. We get our food and scurry to Stephanie's room like two cockroaches trying to find darkness. We are eating and talking about what some people at school were up to today, and we were about to start our homework when I saw a figure walk by. I noticed it out of the corner of my eye. I turned to Stephanie and asked her if someone else was here. She said, "Yeah, it's probably my older brother Steve." I paid no mind to it and carried on with my homework prep. I asked Stephanie if she had anything to drink because the Hot Pocket was not going down smooth. She said to go check the fridge. I remember thinking, this is my first time in your house, and the first time meeting your family. You can't get up or at the very most go with me? But then again, we were only 16 and didn't quite develop the manners that we should have had. I creeped down their hallway and into the kitchen, trying to be silent, like a top secret agent in an old spy film. I quietly opened the fridge and started looking at what they had to drink. It seemed like they had every flavor of every soda ever made. Frickin' rich people. Then out of nowhere, I heard from behind me, "What you looking for?" I jumped back from shock. Stephanie's brother Steve was standing there looking at me. I just grabbed the first drink I saw and shut the fridge. I look at him and silently hold up the drink. He gives me a smile and sticks his hand out. "Hey, I'm Steve. Hi, I'm Alex." We introduced ourselves, and everything he said after hello was a blur to me. I can't remember anything he said because I was so distracted with his striking good looks. He appeared to be 18, but he was in very good shape with a very perfect white smile. I kind of oogled him and giggled, and then said it was nice to meet him and said, "I have to head back to the room or Stephanie will think I got lost." He smirks and says, "I hope to see you around more often." This was 7 years ago. Nothing ever came out of me and Steve, unless you call mild flirting something, but I just could never bring myself to make a move. I valued my friendship with Stephanie too much to risk anything with her brother. But now let's talk about the purpose of me telling you all of this. I was over at their house this past week. By now, I'm like a second child to Stephanie's parents, so I just let myself in and say, "Hey mom, hey dad," to her parents. But this last time I was there, Stephanie wasn't back from wherever she was at, so I do what I always do there. I went into Stephanie's room and turned on the TV. I noticed that Steve wasn't there either. Now I need to mention something about Steve. Ever since I've known him, he's always kind of stayed to himself in his room with his door locked. No one really ever knew what he was doing in there. And frankly, I don't know if anyone even wanted to know. But as I waited, I poked my head out of Stephanie's room, and I noticed that Steve's door was slightly ajar, which it never is. I know this is going to sound bad, but my interest peaked and my curiosity heightened. I walk to his room and slowly push open the door. It creaks like an old horror movie door would. I started snooping. Yes, snooping around his room. I told you I wasn't proud of this. I went to his bed and sat down. Nice little bounce to it. His sheets smelled like lavender. Of course, I had to check under his bed for naughty items. To my delight, he didn't have any. But then I noticed his laptop on his desk, along with a mess of papers around it. I take a few steps to it and open it. To my surprise, it had no password on it. It just opened up to the home screen. I'm well aware that what I was doing was a total breach of privacy, but here's when things take a very, very dark turn. I opened his internet browser. A window pops up saying, "Internet pages weren't closed down properly. Restore recent pages." I knew I shouldn't have, but I pressed yes. This website popped up, and it didn't look like any type of website I'd ever seen. It looked eerie. It looked like what you would imagine a dark and moist alley in New York would look like if it was an internet site. I didn't want to navigate on there in case Steve would later on check his history, so I just read what was in front of me. What I saw next made me sick to my stomach. It was a series of snuff films, ranging from people of all ages, and I mean all ages, unfortunately, all the way to animals. And then I realized that I had stumbled across Steve looking on the deep web. It makes me sick that someone would be looking at something so vile. And why was he looking at it? Was it just being curious? Because I know we have all looked at something weird before. It's just part of being human. Or was he looking at it for some sort of pleasure aspect? Then I noticed another tab was open. I once again looked over my shoulder, and then I clicked on the tab. Once the coast was clear, this is where I really got concerned. It was some deep website about how to kill people in all different ways and how to get away with it. Could Steve be planning on killing someone? I know as humans, our minds go to some dark places and sometimes assume the worst case scenarios. So I decided to try to brush it off as Steve being weird and curious, and I exited out of his internet and shut his laptop quickly. But that's when I noticed something else. Something major. I saw a yellow notepad underneath his laptop. I pulled it out, and on the front of it were a list of names. 7 names to be exact. I can't tell you whose names were on it, but I can tell you one name that was. My name. One of the names already had a single pen line through it. What does that mean? Did I just come across a hit list? And why is my name on it? Does Steve plan on killing me? What's up with the one name that's already crossed out? Did Steve already carry out one of his hits? As I'm looking down on this paper, I hear a car door shut out front. It's Steve. I nearly puked from anxiety, and I scrambled to put everything back exactly where I found it. I hurry and run out of his room and start making my way back to Stephanie's room when I get caught with a, "Hey cutie." I stand still in place like I just saw a ghost. I turn to him and try to remember everything I learned in acting class and let out a, "Hey Steve." He asks what I'm doing, and I just let him know I was waiting for Steph, but my mom called and I had to get home. He offers me a ride, and I quickly shout out, "No, I'm fine." Then I scurry past him, and right before I leave, he says, "Hey." I stop and turn back to him. He says, "I'll see you soon," and then gives me that smile that I once found so charming. I'm home now, and I'm writing this. Do I go to the police? If I do, and they do nothing, will he come after me for revenge? But if I don't, will I be looking over my shoulder for the rest of my life? I don't know what I should do, but if he did kill that guy on his list, I think he got away with it, thanks to whatever advice he found on the deep web.